Hello, hello, hello. Greetings, beautiful souls. Welcome to my channel. My name is Alicia and I am Barney Matahari. Returning subscribers and visitors, welcome back. I am so happy to have you back. Drop-ins and newcomers, so lovely to have you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Today we are doing a pick a card reading. And our pick a card reading today is a little bit different. And we are doing an interview with your vampire's higher self. So 2025 has been interesting for many of us, the collective. You might have noticed that I have not posted for some weeks. And that is because I have been going through my own stuff and processing a lot of information and downloads, and I've just been really called to take care of myself and to rest. So I've been honoring that and trying to meditate and sleep and nourish my body and my mind and my spirit as much as humanly possible, because after all, I'm in a human body too. Anyway, so with that being said, we have 3 piles today. Pile number 1, with this dragonfly, have courage. Pile number 2, we've got this brass fortune cookie. And pile number 3, we've got the Om bell. So take a moment, decide which pile is for you. And I am going to get started with pile 1. And I am going to start with your oracle cards. I'm sorry if you can hear my dog in the background. She is being agitated. So, pile number 1. We have magic. 31. So instantly I'm being drawn to that being a 4. 4 is the number of the heart chakra. I'm seeing so much purple. This is really reminding me of Metatron's cube as well. And purple is also very strongly associated with Archangel Metatron. And from my understanding, and don't quote me on it, you can look it up yourself, Archangel Metatron is the only archangel who actually incarnated as a human. So the frequency of magic supports our intrinsic ability to grow and expand beyond this moment, to move toward possibilities and expressions that are as grand and profound as we can imagine. All that is required is our belief in their manifestation. So powerful, so beautiful. So I'm getting so much crown chakra, and I'm getting so much crown chakra, third eye, also the throat chakra very, very strongly. So I feel like you've done pile number 1. You've done a lot to ground yourself, and your higher chakras are they're really active right now. And with that, I think you incarnated with that also being a thing. You probably actually had to ground this energy down into Mother Gaia and learned how to really anchor into your heart chakra through your lower chakras, through your root chakra, through your sacral chakra, and through your solar plexus chakra. I'm seeing those colors being absent in this card, and I think that that's the life lessons that you were here to really work on. So you came in almost, I'm hearing indigo child, starseed, like you're really, like your energy, you're very connected to spirit, you're very connected to your galactic center. You probably have had You probably had guides very strongly around you that you communicated with as a young child. And I'm sure, well, I'm not sure, but I'm hearing that that you had to pile number one, your vampire would have seen that bright shining light around you, and that's really bringing me to a matriarch figure. So whether that was your own mother or whether that was somebody who had the position of mother in your life. And what I mean by that position of mother in your life, whoever that caregiver was, that was your primary caregiver as an infant and up until maybe you were school going age, when it was just, at that age, you're very isolated from society. It's you and your primary caregiver. And that's what I mean by mother. So it could have been a mother, it could have been a mother figure, maybe you were in daycare, it could have been somebody in that situation, it could have been a grandparent, whoever was looking after you. It could have been, it could have been your stay-at-home dad, whoever was around you that frequently. Or as you grow up and then you encountered another person, I'm also hearing that it could have been somebody who embodied that energy for someone else. And they took that into, it doesn't necessarily have to be your primary caregiver, but they definitely had position of primary caregiver. So those energies built up in your vampire. That's what I'm hearing from your vampire's higher self. Okay, we also have dragonfly. Wow, this is pretty synchronistic. So that's a confirmation right there and then. Dragonflies are synonymous with transformation energy. Dragonflies also, there's a child's book that I'm being reminded of right now, and it's to teach children how to understand and how to accept death, and it's called Water Bugs and Dragonflies. So it goes through the story of how the water bug becomes a dragonfly, and it's not that they're gone, it's just that they're gone to another place. So it's a way of illustrating to a child how somebody can be in their vicinity and then they're not in their vicinity. And I feel like you've had a lot of cycles that you've had to transform, and you have had to process, transmute a lot of death energy. And similar to a butterfly, for example, the dragonfly started as a water bug. So it lived in one medium, and then it was in the emotional world. So I'm getting a lot of emotionality from when you were a child, either that came up and that's what you experienced with your vampire, or it is that primary caregiver. So I'm getting really strong themes of, you being highly intuitive, you being very connected to spirit, you being otherworldly, like of the stars. This looks like a star. You could relate very strongly to archangels. You're very connected to I'm hearing the dragon realm, to other realms, like the magic realms. Look, you've got magic card as well. And that was where your stability came from as a kid. So let's pull some tarot cards for you, pile number one. So interview with higher vampires, higher self. What messages do you have for my pile number ones? Now I'm dropping cards, so I'm going to actually put them back in. I think that was just me being clumsy. So straight away, we've got the Queen of Pentacles coming out. Oh, Eight of Cups. And I'm just going to take a moment to say, if you're liking the messages that you're hearing here, please consider commenting, sharing, or subscribing. Obviously, feel invited, not obliged, but it would help me out a lot, and it would help out the channel and for the messages to get to people that you think might actually really benefit from these messages. So with that being said, I will continue with your tarot. You've got the Seven of Wands. Messages for my pile number ones from their vampire's higher self. Messages for my pile number ones from their vampire's Hierophant. Messages from my pile number one's vampire higher self. Messages, please, from my pile number one's Knight of Wands. Okay, I'm going to have to cover this. The Sun. Wow. The Magician. And the Eight of Swords. Okay. So there's a very clear picture coming out here. This again, this could very, very strongly be a mother figure, like I said, either to you or to others. But for those of you that it is, you know, a mother figure to you specifically, whoever this is, whether it was a mother figure to you specifically, or it's somebody that you came into a relationship with later on that was this mother figure to somebody else and then kind of was projecting that energy onto you. They could have been very overbearing, and they could have really put a lot of their emotions onto you. And you know, you may have felt like you could never win, like you were always having to defend yourself or defend your position. It was easier to be independent in your own energy, and to you know, you really had to build your own. That person should have been a support to you, but you ended up having to build your own autonomy, build your own stability, invoke your own magic. I feel like you were raised by spirit, actually. So that if you're the person who in later life ended up in a situation, another dynamic, where this person was just kind of sucking the life out of you, like feeding off of your energy, because they felt, I guess they felt lacking in some way, insecure, unable to, like, not as educated, unable to be their own Queen of Pentacles, that they kind of glommed onto you in some way as an adult. Because they, I'm always quoting John Deloney on the internet, and he always says that you know, the strategies that you learned as a child to keep you safe will destroy your adult relationships as an adult. And I'm getting that dynamic for you, pile number one, very, very strongly. So you could have had either, like, the emotionality could have come from, you know, either that mother figure being like very volatile, very, you know, would fly off the handle, like having a lot of fire, a lot of rage, in and out. You know, you really had to work for their affection. And you ended up having to tend to them rather than the other way around. So those dynamics can play out if you don't resolve within yourself, whatever those patterns of behavior and those energies that get built up and calcified in you as a child. Then you go out and, what is his name? Eckhart Tolle will say often that when children grow up in dysfunctional, kind of like codependent to codependent caregivers, parents, or when they're around that, they soak that up like a sponge, and then they're the ones who go out and reenact it in their adult lives often. Well, pretty much, unless it's healed, or unless they come into contact with somebody who is, let's say, we're attachment styles, for example, unless they meet somebody who is, you know, who has a healthy attachment style, who will see where they're coming from and who won't take advantage take advantage of it, and will help them navigate through those, help them repattern those items. But oftentimes when you come from that space, you don't know any different, and then what's familiar, you end up repeating. So the Knight of Wands is giving me the impression that this person could have been very in and out and very dramatic. Maybe they got their sense of what they mistook passion for love. And passion is important, but it doesn't mean that you need to be in constant drama. Like, when you can relax, that's when you can really enjoy each other and, just be around each other in relationship. And that goes for, parent-child, friendships, colleagues at work, romantic relationships, sibling relationships, all of the above. So this person just seems like a bit of a fire starter and would, play games. I'm hearing treat him mean and keep him keen. I'm also hearing no pictures and all sound. All pictures and no sound. So they could have done the silent treatment with you. And it really meant that you had to shine bright like a diamond. You had to shine really, really brightly to constantly appease this person, to soothe them, to keep and what I'm hearing is that, first of all, that it doesn't change anything, because the problem isn't in you, the problem is in them, and they're pushing it. They're by being in the dynamic, that's the energy that they're dragging into the relationship with you. And you had to alchemize a lot. You had a real innocence and a real just solid, look, you've got the Sun, you've got the Magician, you've got the Hierophant. You are a very old soul, and you had instant connection to other realms, and you may have really been a light for this person. They may have provoked you a lot to get to see what you think, so that they could use you as kind of, I'm hearing like mini muse. And I'm seeing in the scene in Dune the movie, where they're talking about Paul Atreides' little sister Alia, and they say, because the mother, Lady Jessica, drank the water of life when she was carrying her, and she became the phrase that was used is, she was born with all the powers and wisdom of a reverent mother. So I'm getting that you had that like real power and potential. And what I'm also getting is that you didn't really know it. It was so natural to you that you didn't know it was lacking in other people, and you didn't know that it was lacking in your vampire. So what I'm hearing from your vampire, like I asked, like, what did you do? What did I do? I've already asked, who are you? We've got, it's this matriarch figure. So take it how it resonates. Either your own matriarch, or somebody in your family who had that position, or somebody in your life who had that position, either with you or with somebody else that was trying to feed off of you, because you are the Sun, you are the Magician, you are the Hierophant, you are the Queen of Pentacles. But you had to walk away with the Eight of Cups. The other way this could happen as well is, like, they could have been somebody who flew off the handle a lot and created a lot of drama, but they could have been like by instilling fear. But they also could have been somebody who, was always like playing the victim, who was just like, how dare you say that to me, because now I feel sad and now you've hurt me, and always, so you always had to either run and comfort them as well. I'm getting with the Eight of Cups that, you couldn't win in this situation, so you had to walk away. So I'm getting this very strongly as being a no contact situation here. We've also got the Eight of Swords here. So you didn't see the truth of what was going on. You had the power to walk away. See, the swords are all around her. You had the power to walk away all along, but she's bound in her body, and she's got her eyes are blinded. So you were not, that your vampire is saying they're sorry. They wanted to be you. They wanted to be around you. I'm hearing my precious. They wanted to consume. They coveted your energy. You didn't deserve that. You were innocent. And I'm hearing that song from the Jungle Book. I want to be just like you, walk like you, talk like you too. You see, it's true. So they may have had a position of power when you were in a vulnerable position relative to them. Like, you know, maybe it was a spouse, and maybe they were the ones who was the breadwinner, so it was difficult for you to leave. Maybe it was a parent, but in some way you were in a vulnerable position relative to them, and they could see your strength, your ability to create, and they were afraid that you would leave them. And what they did was they created that self-fulfilling prophecy by refusing, by absolutely refusing. And I'm hearing, I'm weak. The inference being, I'm weak, you're strong, therefore take care of me. So it's like weaponized, you know that phrase, weaponized incompetence, that you hear a lot of these days. I'm going to pull another few cards for you, pile number one, but I would strongly suggest for most of you that you are in a no contact situation with this person. What I'm also hearing is that their higher self is saying that they're sorry, but now they're in the Eight of Swords. They're still refusing to honor their incarnated self, is refusing to see the truth, because the truth is painful. The truth of how they treated you, because they do have what they consider love for you. So they have the emotion of, I want to be around you. I want to give you so that I feel good about myself. They're still very selfish, and they need to transmute that. Okay, so we've got ether and matter, and we've got double infinity here, and that's actually very like the wings of the dragonfly. And this is very likely well, we're all soulmates to each other, but I feel like we kind of come in pods or groups. I guess I'm seeing pods with the dolphins here. You're very joyful. I'm getting very strongly that, you know, they say that the feminine is the dark. I guess because the feminine is represented by the moon, and the masculine, and I'm talking energies now. The masculine is represented by the sun. So this person, they are in your soul pod, but they are refusing to go into the void. They're refusing to withdraw from so on the outside, they may look very successful, and they may have blamed you for walking away. You could have been scapegoated. I'm getting a yes. We've got a butterfly here. Metatron, we were talking about Metatron. Commune with all life, microcosm, macrocosm. Very, very interesting. And this, ether and matter. So you have learned how to really ground your magical, etherical, I don't want to say energies into Mother Earth Gaia. You have an innate and inherent understanding that we are part of Mother Gaia, and you have an innate understanding that you are connected to them, and that when they hurt you, they're really hurting themselves. By hurting you, I hurt myself. That's it's reminding me of that song Revenge by Danger Mouse and Sparkle Horse. You can't hide what you intend, it glows in the dark. Like, you can see the unseen. You can now see, now that you have moved away from all of this chaos, and you've been able to, I'm hearing, calm yourself. And Jessica says that to Paul Atreides after they crash in the desert. In the original one, I haven't seen the one with Zendaya and Timothée Chalamet. So this is the one with Kyle MacLachlan back in the 1980s, I think. The David Lynch one. And it's very steampunk as well, which might be something that you're drawn to as well. In its look, there's and that to me really talks about what's happening now. Like, you know, we're now finding out so much about the ancient technologies that did exist and that were lost, and then we went into the Kali Yuga. And that was the dark ages, the modern dark ages. Even though we've got lots of computers and we lost so much technology because it was abused. Now we've got, this is reminding me of Mary Magdalene. We've got the rose here, self-healing ruby ray, birthing the new earth. I think the ruby ray might be associated with Aurora, who I believe is the twin flame of Archangel Ariel. You have to look it up, but we're seeing the solar plexus chakra. We're seeing Mother Earth Gaia in here. So you've been incredibly successful. I'm also seeing Dr. Manhattan. I forget what that is from. It's one of the superhero graphic novels, but he can grow to be really, really huge. And I'm seeing you as having an innate understanding that you are your human incarnation, the mind that you have. You have this understanding from when you were born, kind of your soul knew it and your body knew it and you lived through it. And you ended up kind of bringing that through you lived from that place, which people probably, they could very easily have been like, oh, that one's a way off with the fairies. And I'm seeing that, you know, the one, I forget what her name is, the blonde one who's kind of, she's presented as a little bit ditzy in Harry Potter. So I'm getting a lot of inner child stuff for you and a lot of the innocence. So I'm getting for you very much childlike innocence, but also incredible wisdom. So I feel like you had a lot of that as a child. And innocence also in terms of purity, like removing a lot of the misconceptions that society pushes on us. And that feels like what you have been here to ground into the earth, and you have been successful. This is all coming from your vampire's higher self. They see that, they've watched it, they've witnessed it in you. Their version, their avatar on this planet, the incarnated version of them, does not understand that they also have the power to be what you are, but they have to go within. They have to connect with spirit. They have to shine of their own accord. They have to be their own Queen of Pentacles. They have to follow your path. They have to learn how to alchemize. They have to, take action, but take action from their heart-centered place. And look here, this is also reminding me of Mary Magdalene. And then we've got Sacred Mountain. And Sacred Mountain, it's reminding me of Mount Shasta, which I haven't been to. But it's got vision, quest, clarity, truth, Shambhala, deep healing. So sometimes I've heard, and I haven't explored it this incarnation, Mount Shasta, and how it's said that there are portals to inner earth and that kind of stuff. So I'm getting really strong Archangel Metatron for you, Mary Magdalene, so maybe the Essenes or something that's of interest to you. And your vampire's higher self is offering this to you as they understand and they are happy for you that you have walked away from whatever this relationship is. It's like you moved to another timeline. But if you're on this channel, you probably are starting to really play with the idea, or at least allow yourself to look at the idea that there is only now, and all timelines exist now. There is only now. We are in 3D Earth, but like Dr. Manhattan, he can be just a human-sized version of himself, but he can also be huge. He can also be, as bigger than the Earth. So you have an innate understanding that not only of the unseen, not only of your intuition, of the the elements that you can see on earth, not only of your spirituality, but beyond. Like we're all of the divine. All is divine, I'm hearing. Your vampire has not learned this. Your vampire's higher self knows this. And they know that by you being around this person, they are just... I'm hearing, I want to suck your blood. I've been watching a bit of Van Helsing and vampire movies of late, which I was drawn to, because I think that you were not. And remember, the thing with vampires as well is that you can't see their reflection in the mirror in a lot of the lore. But this idea of them just feeding off of your energy, and to be vampiric about something is to not be generative, to kind of sustain yourself from other people. And this person needs to learn how to be self-sustaining, because as long as they're feeding off of other people, they're in an illusion, they're in a delusion that what they think is happiness is not really happiness. It's just a sensation that they have in their emotional body and their physical body, and that they have these trappings, like maybe they live in a big fancy mansion, maybe they drive a big fancy car. But at the end of the day, if they were truly happy, they would not be trying to be you, take what you have. And you have just learned how to live simply. Yes, you can have trappings, and yes, you can have abundance, but that's not really what we're after. And I'm hearing Abraham Hicks talk about the things that we want for the feeling that we have, what we think we will have when we have them. And she also says a belief is a thought that you keep thinking. But it's not just mental activity. It's also mental activity and the visceral feeling that you have in your body, and the action that you take, and the intention that you put into it, and where you truly, truly want to go. And if you're on a spiritual path, which we all are, again, we're back to all timelines exist at all times. You're just on a different frequency, and your frequency is incompatible to your vampires at this time, is what your vampire's higher self is saying. They need to elevate to meet you there, and they will. It will be done. They have free will. They will have to learn it, and they want to learn it in their own way, no matter what their human avatar is saying to you, about you. No matter what action they're taking in the world, their soul knows that it is unjust, and it is unbalanced, and it is a delusion to pull you back down to their frequency. So pile number 1, I'm going to leave it there. If you like the messages, again, please do like, comment, share, and subscribe. We're going to move on to pile number 2 next. Thank you, pile number 1. Bye. Sending you lots of love. All right. Pile number 2. Let's take away pile number 1. Pile number 2. You had the fortune cookie. Oh, you've got third eye chakra. Card number 6. And that is card number 6. It's card number 6 and chakra number 6. The frequency of the third eye chakra, the indigo flower of life, supports our intuition and our inner knowing, our imagination and our psychic powers. So again, I'm feeling, and I'm saying again because he came up in pile number 1, Archangel Metatron with the purple, the flower of life, and obviously this is the sacred geometry deck. So he's very highly associated with sacred geometry and Metatron's cube. The owl, beautiful. So I'm seeing that as being 2, 1. 2 breaks down to a 3, so I'm seeing 1, 2, 3, and 6. Lovely. All right. I'm just going to take a little sip of water. Pile number 2. So the fortune cookie is kind of reminding me of there's wisdom inside. So you've got wisdom inside. And the third eye is about looking inwards and closing your physical eyes and looking into the other realms, the dream walking, the astral, and beyond. All, remote viewing, where do you want to go, astral travel, by location, that kind of thing. And then the owl. The owl she's not only the companion of Athena, who, remember, Athena, Zeus got the message that Zeus consumed her mother, and Athena popped out of his head fully formed in all her armor. She's the goddess of wisdom, and she is a goddess of war. And in war, there's a lot of strategy. So there's that air energy, thinking energy. And I don't mean mental activity like ruminating, just looping on something and not being able to let it go. I mean truly thinking about something from all perspectives, from all angles, and thinking about what is in the highest good for yourself and for others. And I feel like you do that innately, pile number 2. You're very, I'm feeling a really strong intuition from you. Your vampire's higher self is also saying that that your intuition is correct about this person. What I'm getting for you, I asked who this person is, and what I'm getting is kind of guru. But I don't mean, a true guru as in a truly wise one. Someone who wears the robes of the guru. And I'm seeing Guru Jagat in my head. I don't know if you know who that is. I only came across her recently. But apparently she was someone who was working with a lot of celebrities. She also partnered with some guy who was seems to have been a bit of a con man. She died because she didn't listen to she didn't listen to doctors' advice not to fly, and she ended up, I think, having an embolism or something from going in the air with she had broken her ankle. So she just she worked with a lot of celebrities as well, but it's kind of she was one of those, instead of being true to, like, she lied about the teacher that she worked with. She was charging a lot of money. She was basically commercializing spirituality, and I'm hearing spirituality the brand, authenticity the brand. What can happen is that if you have been never shown love by those around you, if you didn't have healthy people around you, you can be really susceptible to giving money over, or be taken in by con people. And she probably, I don't know too much about her, but she was apparently abusing her staff. There was lots of problems money wise. Like, she do as I say, not as I do. So that's what I'm getting. I'm not saying that you got into a cult, or you got involved with this Guru Jagat, or that you that you are that person. What I'm hearing is that you may have had the tendency to trust the wrong people because of presumably things that happened in the past and the people that you were around. The owl is also very wise. The owl is also known as, I believe it is the eagle of the night. The owl hunts by night. The owl hunts in the dark. So you have had to learn how to, you have had to be armored from the get-go. So I'm getting very strong that you probably grew up in a very imbalanced, unhealthy kind of an environment. Either that, or something happened that just, that caused you to lose faith, or lose your confidence, be so vulnerable that you were so overwhelmed that you didn't have the the Seven of Cups just came out. You didn't have the clarity in your body, in your mind, to be able to accurately follow your intuition. And that's how you wound up kind of coming into some relationship. Now, it could be a parent, it could be a spouse, or an intimate partner. But I'm getting very strongly kind of more of a business kind of teacher, student, maybe again someone like where you would go to. I'm somebody maybe in the spirituality or the health or the mental health field. But what I'm saying is not to take anything against mental health professionals, but somebody who was operating in that maybe didn't have the credentials, didn't do the training, who just saw it who just recognized it as a cash grab and jumped in. Maybe some kind of coaching where they just didn't have the experience to be helping the people that they said that they were helping, that kind of thing. I'm guessing charlatan. We've also got I'm pulling tarot cards for you now. We've got the Fool. So I'm getting that you've had to start over again after whatever this relationship was. You may have had to start over several times. You're incredibly wise. You've had to learn to see in the dark. You probably always could, but I'm getting the impression that you're a vampire, and your vampire's higher self is confirming it. It's like whoever this was, they operate on kind of illusion. They operate on making things seem different than they are. They operate on somebody very often at a new beginning. So you could have been in a new place where you didn't know anybody, where your body is on high alert, but you don't really recognize it because your senses are so busy learning your new environment that your intuition is not necessarily the loudest thing that you're hearing, and you may have mistaken some triggers for intuition, and you could very easily have gotten, I'm getting bad advice as well. So pile number 2, if you like the messages that you're hearing, I would love it if you would consider liking, sharing, commenting, or subscribing. I'd be over the moon if you did so, and if you don't, that's fine too. But that would be nice if you did. So we've got the Temperance out for you. I'm seeing a lot of water. So we've got intuition here, we've got air here. So you've had to learn how to, kind of be discerning. We've got the Magician. My gosh, you've got 3 major arcana in a row after the Illusion. We've got the Two of Swords. I love this Two of Swords. It's so beautiful. It's Moon in Libra energy. So you were very likely led into, I'm really getting very strong. I'm hearing a phrase, throw mama from the train. I don't know if that's a movie about con artists, but I'm getting really strong con artist energy, and I'm hearing, grandma, what big eyes you have. Grandma, what big teeth you have. So somebody who came at you in a very loving, nurturing, wise way, protective way. Somebody who was kind of pretending to embody the Athena energies. Somebody who was trying to, who was either in a new environment or got you at the beginning of a new cycle. I'm hearing. And then we have Death, my gosh. So, and the right under the Fool. And you had to put an end to that. We've got 3 of Wands. You were waiting for your ships to come in. And you thought, this is Sun and Aries energy, you thought your intuition was deliberately impacted. This could have been somebody, again, we're talking about teacher-student, fake guru types. So maybe it was somebody, and in the spirituality world, there's a lot of weaponized lexicon, I'm going to say. Again, I was hearing authenticity, the brand, spirituality, the brand. A lot of people can read the books and parrot out stuff, but they don't really understand it. Those with eyes to hear and those with eyes to see and ears to hear. So that suggests to me, and their higher self is confirming it, that you were actually the teacher. And you came into their orbit, so to hold up a mirror to them, to cut through the illusion, to see through the dark, you were the prey became the prey became the hunter, and then we've got the Hermit. You, through this experience with whoever this person was, you were put into hermit phase, and you found your own light. See these 2, they're back to back. They're not together. They're not forward. You guys needed to separate. You needed to have an ending, and you did. Your ships are coming in. You could have, a lot of people. I'm hearing also, a lot of the, and it's not this, it's kind of like, the catfishing that happens with, let's say, old people. And it's like you might have somebody in a boiler room that's just going down through a list, that's just calling up people, and they're having these fake relationships with these people, and these people think, oh my gosh, for the first time somebody really sees me and loves me and whatever, but they're just trying to extract their money out of them. I'm also getting that. And it's not that they were a teacher, it was just that they had the technology, they had the resources. So there's that too as well. So maybe something, you could have been scammed online. So like I said, I'm getting really strong con artist, and that only can go so far until the person at the receiving end either runs out of resources or sees the truth. You had to temper yourself out after so I'm really getting ambulance chaser as well, like somebody who really, and their higher self is confirming it, somebody who really just feeds off of the misery of others and does it, this is their way of making money, this is their way of supporting themselves. They do it more in the business environment. I'm sure they do this in their personal life as well, because that's their mindset. Their mindset is kind of like all's fair in love and war. You're the fool. If you fell for it, it's your fault. And to some degree, we all have to be my discernment is my business, but their being a decent human being is their business. So it didn't have to have this much carnage that it did. You could have, it could be somebody who, I was going to say who marries for money, but I'm really more getting a business sense. I'm not really getting, but again, you have that Black Widow type as well. Those stories, or those women who have married for, they have a string of widows, let's say. And, then you have the people, what is it, the Tinder swindler types as well. So with modern technology, this energy is showing up in different ways. So there's a myriad of ways that this can impact. So it could be, any of those. I'm getting really strong con artist energy. It might, and what I'm being told is, like, for some of you, yeah, it is that it was in the area of spirituality, but for some of you, it was in the area of, scam artistry, like, send me $299 and I can fix you in 21 days, and 10 ways to, 10 ways to heal your heart, and all this kind of stuff. And I'm seeing a lot of clickbait. There's no, and there's genuine people who operate in that space, who do have something to teach, who do have something to give. But they come at it from a place of compassion, and they're the people who are like they're not in their comments. Let's say they're on the internet, they're not in their comments trying to solicit business in that way. Like, they hang their shingle out, and they're coming at it from a good place. But there's, no matter where you go, no matter what walk of life you go into, I mean, think about, professionals who practice without a license, all that kind of stuff. So you have gotten focus on the light, right to see, releasing illusion, pineal activation. So in your hermit phase, you have you've really gone within. You've really had to cut through the illusion and ask yourself, like, why do I keep falling for lies, for example? And the higher self of your vampire is saying, because they're very sophisticated. Do you ever hear that phrase, never argue with a fool, because they will beat you every time with experience? Don't wrestle with pigs, because you'll just get covered in muck and the pig likes it. So your vampire, if you're still involved with this person, which I think that most of you have moved away for whatever reason, or if you're having questions about something that you're in, your intuition is right. Somebody who is genuine will not want to see you in a place where they're dangling in front of you, where they're kind of holding the carrot and they keep moving the goalposts. They won't do that if they're a decent person. Cosmic self. You are a cosmic being. Stay confident in your truth. So you're being called, and your vampire's higher self is really here to say that they're sorry that you had to experience this. You're not the only one that is experiencing this with this person. This person needs to learn to not do this to people. But as long as they keep getting rewarded as long as they keep getting rewarded in the world with like likes and clicks or whatever is their currency, they're in complete delusion. They think that they're actually, okay, I get it. The manifestation, spirituality, the brand, law of attraction. They think that they're working the law of attraction. At least that's what they're telling themselves. They're like, well, if it was, and their higher self is really trying to get through to them to say that, like, the more that you're building up all of this stuff, the bigger the crash is going to be. I mean, we can see some of that playing out. It's not good to get away with lots of lies and con artistry, because they're building up so much karma. You are right to walk away. You're right. Your intuition is bang on about this person, whether they're in your life now or you're leaving or you're planning to leave. Whatever this arrangement is, where you are giving and you're not receiving. So really, to the higher self of your vampire is really coming in to say that you being in your own energy, you being in your own frequency, like they are in touch with your guides, and they know that you have great things coming in, but you need to look within. You're really, really strongly the magician. You are tempering things out. You're doing a great job of that. And just to keep going, your new beginning is coming. The fog is lifting. You're incredibly wise. You're incredibly intuitive. And once you start building momentum in the other direction, and I'm hearing that it's an old Chinese parable, I guess, about the guy who was planting bamboo, and he was planting bamboo, and all the neighbors were like, what are you doing? He's like, oh, I'm growing bamboo. And they were like, but there's nothing there. And he keeps nurturing the bamboo, and the neighbors all think he's like cray. And then eventually, after 5 years, the bamboo breaks ground, and it grows 90 meters, I think, in 5 weeks. So you might, even if you're not seeing the manifestations yet that you want to see, you're on the right track. You're really being called to trust your own intuition, to trust your own process of temperance. And I know it can be really, really difficult, especially when you're having to purge and release and alchemize a lot of pain, a lot of shame. But you can do it, and you are doing it. Like, to revisit where you've fallen for like stupid stuff, where you're like, how, and I'm seeing in that, in the movie Dirty Dancing, where she goes, I carried a watermelon, and she's just like horrified at how stupid she looks. It's that feeling. You're having that feeling like, how could I have been so stupid? How could I have fallen for it? And your vampire's higher self is because they are very incredibly sophisticated. They had everything on their side. You were dealing with so much. So many people have fallen for their stuff. And for you to just really be proud of yourself for seeing the truth under all of this illusion, under all of this duress, under all of this stress, without resources, without people being able to tell you the truth. You were able to hear that call from your intuition. We've got storm. We've got a lot of purple here. Third eye, third eye. It's okay to feel it all cleanse, collapse into the old, realignment. You're going through an incredible realignment right now, connecting in with nature, connecting in with your body, writing things down, getting it out of your system, dancing, just expressing it, whatever way is healthy and safe for you, that doesn't put a target on your back while you're processing. It's not saying don't tell your story. It's saying tell your story to you first. You are your first witness. You are your first witness. And when that is complete. And of course, you can work with a professional. So that's really, I'm a big believer in therapy. A therapist will really help you to, depending on their speciality, they'll really give you a space to kind of work through some of this stuff that your experiences and your emotions. If you go to a therapist, let's say that's trained in trauma responses or recovery, they'll really help you like with your nervous system of how to process it in chunks that your body can deal with and your nervous system can deal with, where you're not just where you're not re-traumatized is what I'm trying to say. So whatever works for you. And then we've got healing. Yeah. So I'm gentleness of love, realignment, transformation. I'm really getting for you that whatever this experience that you went through, you may have, and I'm hearing none of it is, you agreed to it. It ended up being more carnage than it needed to be. But in order to honor free will, on both sides, I'm hearing very strongly that me wanting you to be different is me not honoring your free will. You wanting me to be different is you not honoring my free will. So the only path is to move away from each other until we come back together. Out beyond right and wrong, there is a field. I'll meet you there. That's from a Rumi poem, Prayer, the Field. And there's an acknowledgement, and you're still processing through some of the pain and the stuff that this brought into your auric field, your nervous system, your body, your mind, your emotions. But you're doing a great job, and you are beautiful. And your own higher self is coming in to just, I'm seeing these hands, they're like, good job, high 10, but really just like holding hands over you, Reiki style, completely, constantly, walking with you. Your guides are around to just hold you. If you feel alone and you feel sad, try connecting with them. Nature, water could be very healing for you. They say that water doesn't cleanse, it remembers. And what you're remembering is your cosmic self, who you are, your internal power, your guides, where you're going, why you're here. And why you're here is to be you. No matter what happens, any day, any way, you're here to be you, and you're learning you. In your hermit phase, you're learning you, and you are beautiful. Your frequency is just chef's kiss, as are we all. But we collect things along the way. That what do we, in the 3D land we have Maya, and you're lifting the veil for you, and it's really beautiful. So keep the faith, even when you need to cry, when you need to scream, and you're finding healthier ways of expressing you to you. And I'm hearing, put it in your art, whatever that is for you. If that's a business, a journal, a dish that you cook, a garden that you grow, whatever it is, pour that energy back into you because you deserve it. I'm going to leave it there, pile number 2. Thank you for stopping by. Again, if you hear some messages that you like or you think other people might benefit from, it would be absolutely wonderful if you would consider commenting, sharing, and subscribing, or one of the above. Bye, pile number 2. Sending you so much love. Okay. Pile number 3. You've got the Om. Om, Om, Om. The sound of creation. Belief. 11. The frequency of belief supports our sense of self-worth based on our gifts and talents and a strong connection to source. 11. That's a very spiritual number. Cheetah. Okay. So, I love this actually. So in this animal medicine book, you're given some blank cards. And what the blank cards do is you can, if you resonate with a particular animal, and I do with the cheetah, you can use that to add a couple of custom cards, let's say. So what I'm getting for you, pile number 3, is the cheetah is one of the fastest, I think it might be the fastest land mammal. Sorry, I was just taking a drink of water. Cheetah, they can run really fast, but they also they're great hunters, but they're also incredibly playful. They're very distinctive, and they look like they're very distinctive. They've got like a marking on their face that like you can't mix them up with a leopard. They're smaller than a leopard. They're a big cat, but you can actually have them as pets. They can be domesticated. So I feel that's kind of like you've got this incredible power, like of a big cat, like highly intuitive, like the way you move through the world is so graceful and delicious and delightful, just like otherworldly. Like you're very at home in your animal body, but also in your spiritual energy. And you have incredible faith. You have incredible belief in spirit, in as above, so below, as within, so without. It's very difficult to knock you off your path, but yet you can be incredibly loyal and incredibly painful. You don't do it in a cold way. You're not that and I don't want to give sharks a bad name, but the sales shark of the 1980s, that kind of thing, where they're putting white powder up their nose and they have no compassion for anybody, and it's all's fair in love and war, and that kind of person. You are so committed to your values, your faith, and you're so committed to the truth that you allow room for your values and your faith to evolve as you go, which is what I'm hearing. I'm laughing because I'm hearing your vampire's higher self kind of say that your vampire is like are they real? Oh my gosh, I'm hearing that song. You might want to listen to it. It's Randy Crawford. Almaz. Almaz. I'm not able to sing it right now, but I might be able to sing it a bit later, which you probably don't want to hear. I can't imagine a love so rare. I'm getting that. You just have this incredible, like, people think you're not real because your vampire thinks you're not real because you're just like, nobody could be that pure. Nobody could be that kind. Nobody could be that beautiful of a heart. Nobody could move from that much innocence. Nobody could, and you do. I'm getting, wow. Okay, so first we've got the 10 of coins out. Then we've got the moon, the wheel of fortune, and temperance. The Hierophant. Oh my gosh. 3 of swords. Oh. Judgment. Oh my gosh, pile number 3. Who are you? Page of Wands. Okay, and I love this Page of Wands. Love it. Okay, so pile number 3. And I'm going to take this as well, actually. And it is the Queen of Pentacles. You're independent. You don't need anybody, but you're also abundant and very, very giving. Your vampire, I feel like you have many people, like groups of people, who are just looking at you and think, I feel like they come at you a lot. You're here at the center and you've all these people watching. Like, you've got grandpa here in the center, and like, they're all people, and he's different. He's I don't know the story in this card of this yet. He is loyal, but you've got people all around him that he is supporting. That's what I'm getting off of this card, and I'm seeing kind of bamboo in the background, forest in the background. But he's incredibly abundant. He's incredibly dapper. He's different. He's loyal, and he's just chilling. And I'm getting for you that that's the energy that you carry in your body. No matter how much stuff you have, no matter if you live in a big mansion, no matter if you have like tons of zeros after your name, you walk by faith, but not by sight. You're able to go after what you want. You're able to rest. You're highly domesticated, as in you know how to act in a relationship. You know how to act in public. You know how to act at work. You know how to act in church. You know how to act with someone who has a higher rank than you, let's say a boss. You know how to act if you went to, if you were in the royal family, you'd know how to do royal family protocol. You know how to deal with the, with the truth. You know how to treat people, and you treat people the way you would want to be treated by people. And you will, I'm hearing that, don't let their behavior change you. Your higher self is saying that your interviews higher selves, I'm seeing a lot of them actually. Your vampires higher selves are all in here, and they're saying, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm getting bodhisattva energy from you. I'm getting sage energy from you. You are a mirror. You have all of these people coming at you, and you're like this disco ball. You're reflecting back to every single one of these people, and you are solid in your energy. You are, look at all the major arcana that you have. You have the moon, so you're highly intuitive. You have incredible depth. You have been betrayed. You know betrayal, you know grief. You're incredibly compassionate with people. Even after they betray you, it doesn't mean the frequency of belief supports our sense of self-worth. Just because somebody betrays you doesn't mean that you have such little self-worth that you need to stay around and get stabbed again. You may have in the past, before you learned how to protect your own energy, because I'm getting a very, very, you're out of this. You're in a stage, pile number 3, where you have tempered your energy. The wheel of fortune has turned in your favor. If you don't see this yet, It is coming. Your fortune is assured. This is somebody just joyous, dancing. This is the, even if you're caught in somebody's web, you're still marching to the beat of your own drum. You're still dancing. You still know that this life, this too shall pass. That your power is by connecting with the divine. Your power is by connecting with spirit. Your power is in your faith. Your belief, your faith is where you put your belief. Where you focus your light makes you a target for other people, for many people, because they have never seen anyone like you. You're incredibly creative and playful. You have the ability to start over. People try, like they think that, I'm so getting that so many people think that you're kind of full of it and full of yourself, because as you're telling a story, or as somebody is trying to converse with you, you have had like a really, really difficult, you've had, I don't want to say difficult life, but you've been through a lot of experiences, because you don't perceive it as being a difficult life. Somebody else will be like, well, that can't be true. You do perceive it, you do perceive that you've gone through a lot of challenges, but your way of, at this stage, the frequency that you are at this stage is you're like, well, I have two choices. I can either harvest the learning and get onto a frequency that I want to be on, or I can keep myself miserable and not process my emotions and not process my energy. I know. I'm hearing I know from your higher self. Your inner child is a guide for you. Your inner child is coming through to say thank you. Your inner child, you've allowed them to heal, you've allowed them to play, you've allowed them to express, you've allowed them to show you the pain that they have been through. You've allowed them to express it. You've held them when no one else would. You have connected them with realms of magic. You've shown them the unicorns, the dragons. You have shown them things that they thought that they would never be able to experience. You have really, really soothed them. Your vampires' higher selves are like, they're really grateful to you for being a mirror to their incarnations here on earth. They are trying to, and not all your vampires are I was going to say horrible people, but that's not what I mean. What I'm trying to say is that some of them have kind of come and gang stalked you, and they're really, really sorry about that. Because they were playing a game of telephone, so things got spread around. You've been gossiped about, you've been scapegoated, you've been ridiculed, you've been disbelieved, people have lied on you. All of the above, and still, look at who you are. You're the 10 of coins, you're the moon, you're the wheel of fortune, you're the temperance, you're the queen of coins, you're the hierophant. You have been shaped by the 3 of swords. You know that people will still betray you. And you know that spirit, that there is a wisdom in that no matter what. I'm hearing Viktor Frankl, the last authentic freedom. You can do whatever you want to me. I'm paraphrasing. You can do whatever you want to me, but I will decide how I manage that energy. You cannot make me feel a certain way. You can throw stones. You can do, I'm seeing the little match girl as well. Oh gosh, you've been through a pile number 3 over and over and over and over. And you've been through it with people who said that they loved you. You've been through it. I'm seeing a lot of I'm seeing a very solitary path for you in terms of being able to connect. I'm seeing that you have really connected with spirit, with your spirit guides, with your intuition, with nature. People just didn't take you at your word. You were not believed because you are vibrating at such a high level. And I'm seeing you were the daylight, you were the sun. Your light blinded them, your light burned them. I'm also getting with the moon. You know, in Dorothy, the Wizard of Oz, at the very end, how she overcomes the witch is she throws water on it. So your depth, your emotions, it's so difficult for people because they can't, and your intuition, because they have to come together to lie. I'm getting psychic attack very strongly for you as well. There are energies out there that did not want to be you doing your thing, and still I rise. I'm hearing from Maya Angelou. You are just, you're a powerhouse. And it almost got pathological for people. They were like, well, they haven't fallen yet, so if I do this, they haven't fallen yet, so if I do this, it's like they have gotten so caught up in seeing your demise because they don't believe that somebody could be this elevated or pure, or because they're projecting from where this came out in the last pile, the universe. They're connecting from their own frequency, and from their own frequency they cannot see that this is possible for them. So your vampire's higher selves are saying thank you. Inner child attunement. We talked about the inner child. You have given so much love and appreciation to their inner child, to the inner children of all your vampires. You have been a light. They have watched you. You have led by example. You have led with compassion. I'm hearing that George Michael song, Jesus to a Child. Beautiful song. And Caramel by Corinne Bailey Ray. You have not been tainted by all of this nonsense. You have been hurt. You have been ABUSCD. You've lost a lot of worldly stuff. You've lost opportunities. You've lost relationships. You've lost connections. You've lost money. You've lost, you may have lost a home. You may have lost a family. And still you have deep trust. Your energy is so healing. The higher selves of your vampires, and I'm seeing like I'm just seeing a crowd of the people. You have no idea of the lives of the people that you have touched by just refusing to give up on yourself, by refusing to, you know that phrase, if you can't beat them, join them, by refusing to lower your standard. It's like every time they threw something at you, you turned it into something beautiful. Breathe the sun. Presence, pineal activation, relax, let go. So your higher self is coming through to say that you can rest now. You can breathe. You've been through a lot. They're so incredibly proud of you. It wasn't expected that it would go to this level, but you have gained so much strength and so much wisdom, and like your faith is ironclad. Things are opening up for you. If you haven't had some, I want to call them maybe mystical experiences, you're definitely going to. if that hasn't happened already. And if you haven't I know a lot of people I know a lot of people will when they take photos of things, they will see, let's say, orbs, and they will see, and you can tell, when it's the Holy Grail. You can tell when it's photoshopped, or when it's like, if you take a series of pictures and the way it's moving, you can see that it's not a reflection of the camera, or it's not whatever. So if you haven't seen mystical beings, like if you've only seen them in your mind's eye, or if you only connected that way, I feel like you're going to be shown. This is reminding me of the Sword in the Stone, Avalon here. We've got the eagle, we've got the deer, you have got the beautiful, you've got the sight, you've got the wisdom, you're very connected. This turquoise is the color of the higher heart. This is really giving me Mary Magdalene, that beautiful, compassionate, forgiving energy. And forgiving does not mean reconciliation, and reconciliation does not mean that we get back together. Even though that word has been hijacked in our lexicon, to me, what it means is reconciliation. What it truly means is looking at the whole truth, reconciling the whole truth, a whole acceptance. So I've worked in finance, and when you do a reconciliation in finance, you're not doing anything except showing all of the missing information, so that you can see how one side matches the other, and you can see how let's say the money goes between the two, the bank, and where it went, for example. You're reconciling, you're bringing the full truth to light. But in terms of relationships, we kind of say reconciliation is when we get back together. And we will all get back together again when we go back to source, or when we're on the same wavelength again, or when we've both achieved the same frequency. But you have elevated so high, so quick in this lifetime. I feel like you've gone through a bunch of cycles. They're showing me right now you being in takeoff mode. When you're on an airplane and it's taking off, and all that energy that you're passing through, and you're like bolted down into your seat, and you have your seatbelt on. That with the acceleration that's happening, like up at cruising altitude, you can get up and you can walk around, you can go to the restroom. But while you're going up, it feels really intense on your physical body, and also when you're landing as well. So you don't want to come back down, because that's when your ears pop and you get and you hurt. Why would you come back down to a lower frequency when you have gone through so much work to elevate? You're welcome to join me. I'm hearing Abraham Hicks saying, I'm not coming back down there to be on a low flying disc. You come up here and fly around with me. So you have this incredible, immense compassion for the people whose lives you've touched. Even if you have anger, just because I love you doesn't mean I can't be angry with you. But you understand that all of that is energy, and you have now learned how to focus all that energy, and how to stay at a compassionate space. I'm hearing that song from The Life of Brian, always look on the bright side of life. And you are not stupid by any manner of means. And I think a lot of people mistook your compassion and your unwillingness to be vengeful as stupidity. And like, if someone did that to me, I'd do da 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 da. But you're like, I've already invested so much. Like, I'm not going to, I'm going to cut my losses excuse me, and I'm going to go after that which I want, which my heart desires. And if I don't know what that is, I'm going to experiment, I'm going to breathe, I'm going to go swimming, I'm going to take a nap, but I am going to be who I am, and I'm not going to let anyone change me. That's what I'm hearing from your higher self. So pile number 3, my gosh, you have been through it, and yet it has made you shine bright like a diamond, and you're coming into a stage where you have built up so much. You've grown your wings. You've gone through I'm seeing a butterfly, and I'm seeing a butterfly here on Metatron's cube, or Metatron's card. You have an understanding that you're no longer carrying all this extra stuff. You're not carrying anybody else's stuff, because you know that when they are trying to get you to carry their stuff, that it still isn't going to make them elevate any more or any faster. In fact, it's going to slow them down, because if you're carrying their stuff for them, they're not elevating their own frequency. And I'm hearing from you, I love you too much than to lie to you. You are just committed to the truth. This is such beautiful energy. Oh my gosh. Pile number 3. Thank you for being here. Thank you for incarnating. Thank you for being a light. Thank you for being willing to seed this vibration and frequency into this earth. The world is I can hear Mother Gaia saying, my child, you are just so beautiful, pile number 3. It's such an honor to read for you. I feel the betrayal that you've been through, but there you have just poured so much love and light into yourself, into the world. You have really, really been able to dilute that. I'm sure you can go there. I'm hearing that song by Saint Sister. What is it? I know where you go when you go. Madrid, it's called. But you can always go back there, and you can sit in that energy, and you can just wallow in it if you want to. But you're like, I've processed that. I don't need to go back there. You know that more betrayal can come. And if it does, you'll meet it with wisdom, and you will alchemize it. You will temper out, and you will move forward. You're not afraid. Wow. Oh, pile number 3. Thank you so much for letting me read your energy. I am sending you so much love. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for hanging out with me today. If you're liking the messages, please feel free to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I look forward to seeing you at another reading if you so choose to stop by. I'm sending you so much love, pile number 3.